I'm introducing our guest star, the person who's receiving the Altiora Award this evening. And I have a brief story to talk about Mr. Hubert. So, Elder's always been a great part of Butch's life, but there were so many other things that he's done for Elder and for other people. He became involved, along with Sharon and Ed, in a project, his sister and brother, in a project in St. John Bosco Boys Home in Jamaica. And they started sending the equipment they sell, which is anything, again, that's not, you don't eat in a grocery store, the shelving, utensils, the freezer equipment, everything you see there is what they sold in their business. Thousands of items. And Sister Susan was the person, she was a sister of Mercy, and she started this home down there, and somehow she talked to them. There's a long story behind that. But they started sending her equipment, funding from their business and cash donations and so forth and equipment. And on one occasion, Sister called Butch maybe in the 90s and said, you know, somebody broke into our place and stole all of our kitchenware, all the stuff that we have in there, all the utensils and knives and forks and everything. It was around Christmas time. So what happened was, Butch got on a plane, but he had carried with him 2 suitcases at least full of kitchen equipment, knives, forks, utensils, and everything like that. He knew when he was going down there that he would never get this through customs, more than likely, that they would confiscate what he had down in Jamaica, more than likely. He's down in a line in Jamaica, getting off his plane, going through customs. He's standing in this long line, but Butch, always being a guy that liked Christmas, he had his Christmas hat on with a little big dinky on the top, red hat, white top. He was nervous as heck, sweating like crazy. He knew that when they got there, if they looked in those bags, he would no longer have the stuff that he was carrying in. And he was carrying it in because they needed it right away, and he knew he'd never get it over there any other way. So he's standing in line, and one of these customs agents called and said, Santa, come up here. Butch carries his bags up there, heavy bags. Santa Claus, welcome to Jamaica, sends him right through the line. That was a miracle in itself. This guy is around miracles. This is the kind of guy he is Butch Hubert. To close out what I'm saying about Butch. He's a man of tremendous faith, generosity, and when they wrote a story about his dealing with the place down in Jamaica, the boys' home, St. John Bosco, his comment was in the story that they wrote about it, you've got to give back some of what you get. And that's a neat feeling, knowing that you can help. Well, he's given back a lot more than this over his lifetime. A lot more than most of us ever will. And that's the way his support has been for Elder and so many other charities. And he's a selfless and holy man. He believes deeply in following Christ's example of helping others. He has truly earned the highest reward Elder High School can give. I ask you to welcome to the podium Mr. Butch Hubert, Jr., class of '59, Elder High School.
I feel kind of humble, and I feel kind of shaken, because I didn't realize I was that person. But Elder made me who I am. I want to thank Tom Otten, the faculty and staff at Elder, and all the teachers to give me this honor. This was my school for 4 years, and it's been it for 53 years now that I've been out of there. I go once or twice a week up to the school, and I never got that purple blood out of me. But I wanted to go ahead and also thank my family. I had 10 children, 7 boys and 3 girls. 6 of the 10, I think, are here right at the present time. My second last son, Benjamin, just gave me my 36th grandchild. I have 23 boys. I have 13 girls. The joy of my life. The fun of being an elder parson. I'd like to go ahead and also thank my grandson, the first and the third generation, Jack Smith, for being here. He will be honored later on. I'm proud of him. Follow in my footsteps. I would like to take you on a journey with me. As Toby mentioned, I was born in 1940. I lived in North Fairmount, went to St. Leo's. We lived in a government project called English Woods. I'd like to take you back to 1953, which probably a lot of you weren't around at that time. But in 53, I was turning 13, and I was entering the 6th grade at St. Leo's School in Fairmount. I was hearing from the older boys that we would be going to a school called Elder High in Bryce Hill. At that time, being a Fairmount boy, I had no idea where Elder was. I was nervous and scared, but I thought I still had 3 years before that time comes. In 1956, when I was entering Elder High School, I found out that we had to catch 4 buses to get to Elder. And it would take us anywhere from an hour and 10 minutes to an hour and a half one way to get to Elder. But I was nervous and scared, but the older boys helped me get there, which I was proud. When I got off the bus and I was walking down Regina Avenue, I saw this great big minuscule building. Pardon me. This annual building that I was thinking is going to be my school. And I was very, very proud of it. And I couldn't believe the size of it. But take you with me back at that time. When you enter, the freshman wing was not there at Elder. If you were standing at the school, facing the school, in the back would be the pit. And if you looked at the school, on the right-hand side from the cafeteria on, was not there at all. There was a little hill with steps. I think now they take you up to the Seton Garage. At that time, we had 2 barracks there that was condemned by the Army about 40 years before. And one was the freshman building, where my classes were. The other was the mess hall. I found out again that my locker would be in the basement of Elder High School, the permanent building. I found out for the first time since being at Elder that we would have to change after every class to go to another room. And I was scared because I didn't know how to do that. And I needed help. But as I said, my lockers were over in the main building. And I had to remember 3 numbers for a padlock, which I have a hard time remembering that stuff. I found out we had 5 minutes from when the bell rang to go and get our books and get back to the next classroom. If you were not there at that time, you would go ahead and get a detention slip. And that was very, very hard to do, to try to do that, to get that stuff and to get back in there. But it was really a great joy in that being there. I haven't been looking at these, so I forgot where I'm at. I did not do well in school because I had a thing called dyslexia. And at that time, they didn't know what it was. I was always called a problem child because I had a hard time learning and understanding. So by that, what I did find out at Elder, and it will always stay with me, I was taught that Elder makes a family, they make you feel at home, and you become one body, the Purple Nation, which I love. I love going to all the pep rallies. From the priests and lay teachers that I had at Elder, I learned a deep love and understanding of my Catholic faith. I learned that we all are in this world, and we all have the same goals. Those goals are to graduate from Elder, to go on to college, which I didn't go to work towards your career, to get married and have children, and to give our children the goals and the faith that we have given, and to give back to the elder community. Through the years, I learned we all have dreams. Some people are not able to see their dreams come true. One night, I thought maybe I could help kids realize their dreams. In 1993, Elder was playing Winton Woods. It was called the Old Green Hills High School. We just played them Friday night. On the way going to the game, I'm coming down 74 and being a cheap German, I was thinking, do I go to UC and pay $4.75 for a hamburger? And $3, $4 for a Coke? Or I can stop right here at White Castle on the Parkway. For $3.75, I got 4 cheeseburgers, fries, and all the Cokes. So being cheap, I stopped at the White Castle. As I was in line, I was the only white person in, pardon me. But the lady at the counter says, my son wants to go to that school. And I thought, she's not talking to me. So I paid no attention. And again, she pointed and said, my son wants to go to that school. And I looked at her and I said, you mean me, my school? And she said, yeah. I says, where are you from? She says, I live in St. Lawrence Parish. I'm a single mother. I have 2 boys and a girl. I have a part-time job. I work on Tuesdays and Thursdays at White Castle. And I know for my kids to have a chance, they have to go to Elder to get the education, or play sports and get a scholarship to go. And I left that night with a deep hurt in my heart. I should be there helping this person. And I did. So for about a week, I prayed to the Lord, and I apologized for not helping her. And I asked him to tell me what I should do. And he told me a plan, and he told me a goal to do. So for my dream, I went to my friend Mike Hinkhold, and I went to his wife, Mary Ann. And I told him of my dream of what I wanted to do. And Mike and Mary Ann went to Tom Otten and Doug Gensler, and they come up with the idea of EDSAP. If I can remember, it was the Elder District Scholarship Appreciation Program. And it was to help 11 parishes in Cincinnati. It was to go ahead and to give scholarships to kids in 11 parishes to keep them in the 7th and 8th grade to go on into parochial school. Since that day, we now changed the name. When the district closed, we changed the name to EDSAP, which is Elder Scholarship Appreciation Program. We now are going to 21 plus parishes in the city of Cincinnati, help with kids to stay in the school. I thank my children for taking over, because as I get older, I don't get the patience to work with things. So they, with the Hingholds, are making my dream come true. And I want to thank them. And I went ahead in 92, I got a call, I'm sorry, in 02. In 2002, I got a call from the McKenna family. They own a business like we do down in Harrison. And Mike McKenna and Dan McKenna called me and said they had a dream. And that dream was they get some land, and from that they wanted to make a path, which is called the Panther Athletic Complex. Thank you, Mike. And they wanted to go ahead and fulfill that dream, and they wanted to take me out to eat about a week later. And I was so scared. I was so nervous because I didn't know what I could do. So I got on with the God, and I prayed, and I said, Lord, tell me what I should do. And family, the day before the meeting, the Lord told me, reach in your pocket and give as much as you can even if it hurts, but you gotta make this become true. Because this will be a place where the people from Elder, from Seton, and Christville will grow from. So we did that. In 2005 or 2008, I think it is, as Toby was saying, they honored me, which I didn't want, and they called it the Butch Hubert Family Complex for me and my family. What I learned at Elder I learned the saying they have there is, what I had, I gave. What I saved, what I saved, I lost. And I find that to be very, very true in my life. Because as you hear, when you give something, it always seems like it comes back 100-fold. And it has in my life. After 53 years now, I find that I am at Elder 2 or 3 times, like I said. Elder has never left me. I still bleed purple and belong to the Purple Nation. We all have dreams, all of you out there. We must not lose them or let them die. It is our goal to fill these dreams. So please remember to pray for help to make that happen, because we're all here to help each other. And then go ahead and give 100% of your time for your dream to come true. A person that has meant a lot to me in my life is Walt Disney. And they had a saying about him that it all began with a mouse. I hope in my lifetime that I will be remembered as it said. It all happened by being a Panther. Remember our motto, Altiora, reach for the higher things. Again, thank you to Elder, Mr. Tom Otten, the faculty and staff, and all of you for this time to share with me on my story. May God bless you all. May He help you with your dreams. And good night. Thank you.
The plaque reads, the Altiora Award of Elder High School to a person who exemplifies in his public and private life the pursuit of the higher things. Mr. George Butch Hubert, October 14th, 2012. Congratulations.